Welcome, everybody. Finally, it is time. It's been longer than expected. I mean, it was kind of expected, but still. But now, finally, here we are. Martini and I are back for the
Yes.
second Tales of Production. Also, this time with webcam,
Yes, sir.
so
So
you
you
can
guys
see
won't be staring at a black screen with the logo on it during the
exactly,
whole video.
exactly. You're able to see these two handsome gentlemen
Yes.
here.
I mean, from
Exactly,
from what you can see from here, I'm pretty sure everyone can tell
exactly.
there's a handsome face beneath this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, we're back. First of all, I wanted to say sorry for those who may have thought, okay, what's happening? Because we told you guys every 3 weeks or so there will be a Tales of Production. But of course, this time it took longer, but there was a reason for that. We actually, for those who didn't know, probably a lot know, I was traveling through the United States with a friend of mine. Actually, also doing stuff for the movie, which we'll get later into that. Um, but yeah, that I was there for over 3 weeks, so that's the reason why it took longer. Because we said we'll wait until I get back and we do a Tales of Production. So that's the reason why. So don't expect every update to take that long.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're finally back. We're here with you guys and
Yes,
we got a lot to talk about.
definitely.
So we have a bunch of departments to like express our advancements in. Number one would be well, we got stuff to show you guys. Well, not maybe show, but to talk about in terms of writing, in terms of what is it, models for the film, in terms of general team, updates, and in terms
Also,
of
in
what am I
terms of
missing?
filming and
Filming in terms of like footage and stuff like that.
yeah, footage, yes. I
So
think
yeah,
that's all. Yeah.
it will be a jam-packed episode today.
Yes,
Oh, in terms of voice acting as well, we have a
exactly.
important detail in that. So yeah, so I'd say let's start off with writing, shall we, David?
Yes, I'll let you take over the section for now.
Sounds good to me. All right, so like we told you guys in the previous episode of Tales of Production, we had taken another look at the script. We told you guys that we got an objective eyes to take a look at our story and critique it because at the end of the day, that's what we want the most. We need objectiveness to produce good content and a good story. So we rewrote the Rise of Unicron script, and now in this to this day, I can safely say that also the script for Legacy of Worlds has been fully rewritten. We've had some test readings as well
Yeah.
of both scripts. People who are outside of the team taking a look at the scripts. Transformers fans, of course. I'm not gonna show. I'm not gonna show anyone, just anyone, this. But yeah, Transformers fans taking a look at the script, and the response has been overwhelmingly positive. So these new drafts that we have are very very good. I can guarantee that. And yeah, now they're both done. So we can start doing, start moving again. Certain things that were being held back by the scripts.
Exactly. So we're very confident now, especially with the feedback that the scripts that we've come up for both Rise of Unicron and Legacy of Worlds will be really worth the wait, and they'll be really good, I think. So yeah. With that, now we finally can put a check mark, at least a full check mark of the Rise of Unicron, so that port is now 100% done.
Yes. Yeah, so that's basically what we have to communicate in writing. Now moving on, what everyone what everyone loves to see the most, models,
Yes.
robots, modeling and stuff like that. So David,
You have to wait and no. We have actually something.
yeah, we have
We
stuff to
really
show
have
you guys.
something finally for you guys to see. And it's actually two things. Um, so first of all, let me start with the more boring stuff, so you have to wait a bit. Um, Well, it's not boring, but that's the part that you don't see. Um, so as we told you guys in the first Tales of Production, we're right now in the process of working on the prologue, which we're still at, and we're still in the modeling phase. It just takes time, especially as you know, with the team size that we have. We've been a good news on that part is we've been accelerating more and more over the last weeks. Progress is being made faster and faster, so that's a good thing to see. Our reorganization efforts are really wait, I'm searching for the English word. They're paying off. There we go. Yes. So we're really doing good in that regard. And we are right now working on, I think it's 3 models from the prologue. Well, 4. I mean, actually 4. If you counted, it's 4. One of them pretty early in production. One of them, or the other 3 are pretty much in the works. 2 almost getting done, and 1 is midway done. So we're pretty doing some good progress on that part as well, on the prologue. So that's still working, and we're also trying to see to get even more people. I'm right now in the process of writing a lot of talented CGI modelers to get more people on board, more talented people on board, so we can accelerate this process even faster. So that's the stuff that I can't show you yet. But the stuff that we can show you does actually have nothing to do with the prologue. It has something to do with the main part of the story. Surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. James, which you probably know from the team already from some of the streams, really great guy, has been working a lot recently on a few models. And
Yeah.
and one of them, or most of them, and all of them, have been Autobots. Autobots that we
Yes.
need for our movie. Um, both of them were kind of passion projects of his that he really wanted to do first. Um, so, which one should we start with? They're
Hmm.
both have the color red.
That's true. Both have the color red involved in them.
Yeah.
To give you guys a little tease, we have 2 robots we can show you. Well, they'll
Mhm.
be on the screen in a few seconds, so don't worry.
Yeah. Don't worry.
But let's see. We have a dashing, fast Italian gentleman that we can show the people, and
Mhm.
we also have a more calm, I'd say, serene Japanese warrior.
Yes.
So, it's kind of a tough choice.
Yeah.
What do you think, David? Who do you think we should show
Well,
first?
since I'm currently a bit in the Italian mood, I think we should start with our little dashing friend. And probably most people have already guessed it from just the name, the country itself. It is Dino. Yes. So Dino, as you will probably see right now on the screen, has been completed. Yes, completed for our movie. This is his final look. Finally, you're seeing the completed look. I know you've seen a very, I don't know how far back we showed you a render of him. That was a completely different model.
No.
This is a whole new model, completely designed from the ground up from James. He made the vehicle that you'll see right now, and he also made the robot himself. And I think it's easy to say that he did an incredible job on it. Love the details. If you look on the back and everything, you see the actual engine on it with the Ferrari logo and everything. It's just an amazing new look for Dino with his new Ferrari alt mode. I think it's a very cool look, very perfectly fitting Dino as well. And yeah, that's Dino's, I would say, well, on terms of alt mode, it's a massive upgrade update. In terms of robot modes, it's a nice refresh, I would say.
Yes. For those of you at home wondering what he transforms now into,
Yeah.
he transforms into a 1963, maybe. I may be mistaking the year. James will probably annihilate me for getting the year wrong. But he transforms into an, I want to say 1963 Ferrari 650 GTO, a very, very prestigious car, very famous car in the
Yeah,
automotive history in general. A Ferrari, of course.
of
James loves
course. Of
Ferraris,
course.
so that's what was the main reason he wanted to take up this project. But yeah, my comments I can say Dino looks amazing. I love
Yeah.
him. I love James. He's just an all around great guy.
We all love
And
James, so
yeah, we all love James. So yeah,
and yeah,
and as for the second model, you probably already also guessed, where who we're talking about, since the
Visit Sensei.
country, yes, the country makes it a little bit obvious. We're talking about our Autobot Samurai Drift.
Yes.
Now,
So Drift also complete.
yes, Drift is also complete, also done by James.
Yeah.
You'll immediately see a different shift in a bunch of things. Number one, his armor. Um, I'll have I'll quickly say that he transforms into a Honda NSX, which is of course
Yes.
Japanese brand
Yeah.
of car of vehicles for a Japanese Autobot.
Um. Yeah, and Drift is ready to kick even more ass and be even more badass in this movie.
Yes, kick even more ass than he already did. So yeah,
Exactly.
we'll also give you a little commentary from the man himself and his philosophy of design, James.
Mhm.
Right, so, hi, my name is James. I'm one of the 3D modelers for Transformers Rise of Unicron. I joined the team in August 2022, if I remember correctly. And since then, I've been working on different parts and things for the project. Most notably, you might have seen Brunt's truck mode and the video animation for Bumblebee's alt mode. I'm a automotive designer. I've loved cars for as long as I can remember, and I also love Transformers for as long as I can remember. So yeah, I got introduced to the 2007 movie with a jazz action figure, so I've been stuck onto this franchise since. And yeah, that's about it really. So Dino was the first proper model I wanted to take a bash at and to complete. He's the first model that I've really dove in and designed from scratch. He's a very interesting one because initially, when I joined the project, he was still a Ferrari 458, and then there was a lot of discussion for another alternate mode, consider as supposed as an upgrade. But since my time here, a lot has changed in the project, and so has Dino. So Dino has a new role in the film, and he his role is very different in the film. So likewise his alt mode changed. So gone for a very interesting pick. This is a Ferrari 250 GTO, and I feel this represents Dino very nicely. I'm a very big Ferrari fan, and that is why I wanted to work on Dino in the first place. It's because I feel a massive connection to Ferraris, and when Dino was introduced in Dark of the Moon, he just instantly clicked with me. So it was an honor to be given the opportunity to work on Dino's design. So I've worked very closely with Martini on this one. We had a lot of discussion about the alt mode, and we ended up settling on the 250 GTO. Oh, I feel the 250 GTO complements Dino's curvature design and overall body type. So the first thing we ended up doing is creating the skeleton type. So we use Cliffjumper as a basis. We took all the metallic robotic pieces and create like an endoskeleton essentially to match Dino's body type. And I had found a Dark of the Moon 3D model, Dark of the Moon video game 3D model of Dino, which helped me essentially compare the proportions. So I had a one-to-one reference to Dino as accurate as possible. My favorite feature is definitely the head. This took me a while to make, and it definitely paid off. I feel it's a very close adaptation to the movie, and I'm quite proud of that. And then I'm also very proud of how we managed to incorporate the new vehicle mode design into the robot mode with some obviously iconic features like the front chest being the front of the car, but also incorporating a few more car parts to make it a bit more like a transformer. if may be. So we incorporated the wheels into his back and the wheels under his legs as well. And another thing as well is an interesting detail that I really liked with Dino is how I changed the lower chest area. In the original design, it's a very spiky design, so I thought, how can I incorporate that design but make it look a bit more vintage-esque? So I tried to go for a bit more of a vintage design and try and make it look like as if it turned into a classic Ferrari. And another one of my favorite features is also the back of Dino and that Ferrari engine that took a while to model. Well, and yeah, overall, I think he came out very well, and very happy with how this design came through. Obviously, colors are not final. We are still needs a few more adjusting, but overall, this is a close look and a close sneak peek, if you may, of how Dino will look potentially in the final film. Completing Dino really helped me increase my confidence into tackling more designs for the film. So I felt that the next obvious choice to tackle was Drift. And he was a really interesting one. He was very tricky to design. I did not, going into it, I did not expect how hard it would be. I am quite happy that I actually have gone through this now because I know that by going through Drift, I'll definitely be able to go through the other ones now because Drift was quite the learning curve. Dino was a very basic start, a very basic transformer with very basic shapes, but Dino is so complicated. But Drift is so complicated in his design. It really was a steep learning curve. One of the most important features of Drift, and obviously a very difficult feature to model, was the face. There was so many different intricate panels and moving parts that need to be implemented, and honestly was a very difficult process, and at times I did feel like giving up, but I persevered. But he was during the modeling process, I felt so tired and so annoyed with this design. I really wanted to quit with it, but now seeing it complete and finished, I couldn't be happier with myself. So I'm really happy that I managed to pull him through. He was really a tricky one to do. So design-wise, I really wanted to take Drift into a different direction. So I really wanted to take a look into the Gundam kind of world and see the types of Japanese robots designs. And actually, funny enough, when thinking of a design for Drift, I was thinking of a Greek friend of mine who really is into Gundam. And I found this really cool third-party Gundam design. And it was a very samurai-esque design that felt suited Drift's personality perfectly. And which is why he now has new armor pieces that really resemble that world of robots and Japanese culture. I just wanted him to be a bit over the top. Obviously, with Drift, I first was introduced to Drift as a toy. I know the original white and red toy that came out during, I think it was the Generations line in the early 2010s. So I'm very familiar with that iconic head design with a very spiky look and just big exaggerated proportions. And it's something that I wanted to carry over into the live action film, which is why his new head design incorporates these kind of spikes, essentially, which are trying to be a subtle homage to that IDW design, whilst incorporating the staying true to the Michael Bay universe. So staying true to the Michael Bay design, he has the Age of Extinction look on his face. We did consider the Last Night version of his face, but I honestly thought it just did not match the character. I think it was very much a downgrade, that design, from the fourth movie. So we decided to go back to that Age of Extinction look. In fact, a lot of things is just going back to that Age of Extinction look. We've kept, obviously, the beard. It was really fun modeling that piece. And the crest on his head, the gold pieces have now become much bigger and more angled and dynamic to kind of incorporate and complement that spiky look I'm trying to go for with this look for Drift. A new addition and feature to Drift is his little ponytail on the back, which includes a little red ribbon. And this is a little reference to an Overwatch character. And I just felt like it was just a little really cool feature take it a little bit further into that Japanese samurai culture, and really just fun little details that nods to that culture. And one of Drift's newest features, obviously, is his battle mask. Now, this is a really interesting new feature, which I spoke a lot with Martini about this one. This is a nod to his days as a Decepticon. Obviously, for people who know the character from the IDW series, he was originally named Deadlock and was a Decepticon, who then changed sides to the Autobots. So we thought we might do a nice little nod to that by incorporating a Oni-inspired mask for Drift, and which was really fun to design. We went for a few different color variations, and we'll dive into the colors as well in a minute. But honestly, the final look is the one I'm most happy with. The gold is really aggressive and just incorporates a different persona for Drift. It's honestly incredible how much one design can change with just a simple battle mask and his intentions as well. So, speaking of the colors, we went for a few color decisions. Obviously, one of the most prominent ones was the red. We did think the final design was going to be red, and honestly, it was a color that suited it very well. However, I was having trouble with the gold. The gold, for some reason, just would not mix the way I wanted it to into the design. Just didn't sit right with me. It did give me off anime vibes, and which is a good thing essentially. But for some reason, on screen, I just felt like it would just be more of a colored mess. And Martini suggested the blue, and honestly, the blue is the perfect decision. I feel like going back to that bright blue color complements the gold, and really suits up for a very nice looking robot, and just overall complements the design very well. Orange was also an option because we were thinking that he's gone from blue to red and now we needed a different color, and orange was quite a prominent one I was thinking about during the modeling process because of that early concept art from the Age of Extinction film. But honestly, I think blue was the right choice to go back to. When making Drift, I tried to stay true to his body type and make sure that key features remain the same, such as the head and his arms and the placement of the armors, and of course his back. And the back was a fun piece to make, with adding the two little swords on top and the engine in the exposed engine. It was just a lot of fun to add this detail. Oh, and to incorporate the new samurai design, we felt Drift needed a new alt mode. Oh, the fun thing about Drift was obviously that he was a Bugatti in the fourth movie and a Mercedes in the fifth one. So why not experiment and go for another vehicle? And I thought, what better way to introduce a better vehicle than introducing a Japanese one? So we introduced the 2022 Honda NSX Type S, which I feel is a very fitting vehicle for Drift. It matches the look of the IDW vehicle mode, and not only that, it just is such a sick car, which is I feel is very underrated and very rare that you see one of these. Which is why I think it suits that also Michael Bay choice of vehicles. He generally would go for the most interesting car picks, and I respected that for him. So, which is why I tried to do that tradition here with more exclusive vehicles. And the NSX I think was a perfect choice because it matches the edginess and the angles that the robot mode design has, which is why incorporating the headlights into the chest really worked, I feel. And that was one of the goals with Drift, and will be the goal with the rest of the Autobots as well. More vehicle mode parts incorporated into the robot mode. Those designs from Age of Extinction onwards just missed that Transformers element for me, and As much as I love those designs, I just wanted to see more vehicle parts on to make them feel like they were Transformers. So by managing to add like more the wheels and more vehicle parts, really made me happy to work on Drift. And I think the new chest area for him has kind of really sat well with me. And also the taillights of the NSX on his back really give it a nice complement. The red, in comparison to the blue, it gives off a nice color combination. Lastly, our drift swords, which were fun to model. Well, and they're not really that different from the proper movie verse, with the exception of the carbon fiber running down the middle, which really gives it a nice offset. And overall, I think Drift came out really well. He was very much a learning curve in comparison to Dino. Dino was the first one, of course, to model, and there was a lot to learn with him. However, I just felt like with Drift, there was just so much detail and so much that needed to be accurate, especially for such a important character in the story. That it was just really stressful and really had to be done perfectly, or as perfectly as could be done from me. So I was really happy to work on him.
And we're back. So yeah, that was James talking about his, the models that he made. Again, round of applause everyone in the comments for James. An absolutely stellar job. By the way, if throughout this update you guys hear some background noise, that's coming from me. My mother has some visits over, so that's why. But yeah. Those are the two main models that we wanted to show you guys for this update. In the following months, hopefully in the next update, we'll have more to show you. We might have a fat ballerina that might be making an appearance on the next update, but maybe. I don't want to promise anything, so yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Moving on. We talked about modeling. We talked about writing. I'd say now it's time to move on to shooting, David.
Yes. Okay, so this is my part now.
Yes.
All right. So shooting wise, I don't know how long people have followed who are watching, but if you've been around for some time, we had 2 shooting phases already for the movie. And throughout those, we shot a lot of scenes actually for the movie. And this time, we're going to go into our final shooting phase, which is happening actually starting tomorrow from the time that we record. I'll meet up with Daniel again, and we'll shoot a lot of stuffs. We'll actually start. Well, I can say the sequence name. It's not a spoiler in any way. So it's sequence 1, which we'll be starting with shooting. And we basically started mapping out a plan. We met on Monday, I think, and then we planned a full list of like the sequences where Max's or Daniel's character's in, and what we need to shoot, what will be shot on location, which will be shot on green screen, and so on and so forth, and how long it will take. Because of course, with these shootings, and I learned that the hard way, as I said many times over, in these productions, you learn so much throughout this production of these movies. And I remember it's so crazy when I remember just a little side talk, but I think that's also what Tales of Production is about. When I started shooting the very, very, very first day of shooting ever, that was in 2021, in July, I think, actually, even, with Daniel. That was way back when we had the old variant, even of the script, which that's not a spoiler because they know already that Cliffjumper and Max in some way will interact. We know that from that's not a spoiler. And we had like an old variant of that, and we shot that. Had a much different location. And it was so funny because back then, I went in there and it's so stupid of me. I had no storyboard, anything. I just went in there and I'll be like, this will work. It didn't work. It worked, but it was just so painstaking and everything took so long. And then in the end, you go back, you look at the shots and you're like, oh shit, this is missing and this and that and yeah. So what I learned, and this is also what I can tell to a lot of people who are maybe up and coming and trying to also shoot their own fan films, is it's a it takes a lot of effort, and I know, and it's a lot of painstaking process, which maybe a lot of people don't want to do. But take the time to prep for shooting. Like prep it, map it out, literally sit down at best with your actor even and map out or with your cameraman and map out all the shots. Think of how you want to shoot it, what shots do you need, how many do you need, how long will it take, what equipment do you need, and you need to factor all this in. But because the worst thing that'll happen, and it happened to me already so many times, is you go to set and then you're like, where's the battery, where's this, where's this, and then you forget that. And just prep is the most important thing, first of all. So that's what we've been doing. And finally tomorrow it's gonna go into shooting again. And we'll be shooting from. We probably think that we will need 5 days for sequence one to shoot everything, and that we'll be shooting on Friday, Saturday, and probably on Monday. For those scenes, and then Daniel is actually on holidays, and then once he comes back, we'll continue. So yeah, shooting phase will start. It's the final shooting phase. As I said, we'll finish shooting everything. And for the movie, I'm expecting the shooting phase to take roughly. I'll probably say this might sound very long, but I'll probably say till October, because here's the thing. Also something that I learned is to prioritize your shots, because or sequences that you need to shoot, because there are some sequences where we will need to be on location, because Rise of the Unicron is going to take place during the summertime. And everything that needs to be on location needs to be shot in the summer, obviously. So we mapped out those sequences so we can finish them by latest September. So we have of course, the summer vibes. And everything else that is done with the green screen, there will be shots, there will be scenes where there will be green screen. Those can be shot later, because it doesn't matter what time it is on. It could be snowing outside, nobody cares. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So I'm hoping that everything by October, I can tell you everything has been shot and wrapped for good. And also what I can tell is that also some of the scenes that we shot already with the previous shooting phases, some will be reshot partially because we changed some dialogue stuff, and also because I wanted to give you the best possible shots and have some nice new ideas, and I want to make it even better for you guys. So yeah, that's the updates for shooting. So starting tomorrow, and I'll also, of course, film some behind the scenes, which once the movie releases, you'll see. Maybe some also here in the Tales of Production, we'll see. And you'll also see, of course, some behind the scenes footage on Instagram, and now, well, I can't say Twitter anymore, it's X. But yeah, you'll see it there as well, so follow there as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the updates on there.
Yeah. So as you can see, guys, very exciting stuff happening all around. Moving on, we want to break you down some team production general updates. Like we said on the first Tales of Production episode, we're going to be fully transparent. Like we said, if things are going good, they're going good. If things are going bad, they're going bad, and you'll know about that. So that kind of segues into the team production update, which is that we had someone leave for reasons that I will not disclose, since
it's a very basic thing, which it was just a matter of creative differences and the matter of getting stuff done on time. No, nothing. There's nothing like a big. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a full conspiracy. It's simply
just creative differences.
Yeah, but we still, we like to keep it as professional as possible. So we will not disclose this individual's name.
Exactly,
however, we would like to thank. I'll use them as a general term.
Yeah.
We would like to thank them for their work on the project, for all their insight, and for their support
Yeah.
over the time they were in the team. And they'll still be credited for the film. Their work will still be recognized. It's just a matter of leaving at a certain point. So and this is not the only team member that is left, of course. But don't worry, guys. Don't think this is not will it impact production perhaps? But don't worry, we're constantly looking out for new people. I want to say hiring, but there's no real hiring involved. But we're adding more people to the team, so the film is still going steady. Don't you guys worry about that.
Actually, even better before, so.
Yeah, and I can say that it's been better than some other times.
Yeah, and as we said also in the first Tales of Production, we told you guys, of course, this is a passion project, a fan project, and of course we're all doing it for the love and for the fun, of course. But in a film production, you gotta be professional as well, otherwise it just won't work. And we told you we will be more rigid, and we're just it needs to work. Like the whole team play and interplay needs to work, and if that doesn't work, then we need to split ways, not in a bad way, just in a professional way. And that's exactly what happened here.
Yeah, it's a matter of shaking hands and parting ways, basically.
Exactly. No bad blood, yeah.
But but moving on to greater news, I'll say, keeping things a little bit more chirp. Voice acting. That's my department, so I'll proceed to give the updates to you guys on that. We've had a restructuring, I'll say, with voice acting. There still hasn't been much for voice actors to do since we're not nearly in recording phase. But still, you need to keep people updated. You need to keep people moving, basically, and you have some people that can still work and some others that don't. It happens. But yeah. So I want to announce a few castings and a few role sort of restructures, if you will, that has been going on. So first of all, I would like to welcome 2 new people to the voice acting Rise of Unicron team. Number 1 is Geek Violet. She will be playing the voice of our evil goddess, the Great Deceiver, Quintessa. Now, I'll play a clip on screen right now so you guys can hear her voice.
Your world is dying. I've been waiting for you, Optimus. Come meet your maker. I am Quintessa, the prime of life. My perfect creation. You're going to fix it, or the race of Transformers dies forever. I made you. With my staff, we will drain the very life from Unicron. Earth will die, and your world will be reborn. Nemesis Prime.
Now, as you saw in that clip, she's hella good. So yeah, once again, welcome Violet to the team. It's great having you here. Our second casting choice is going to be, I hope this is the correct way to pronounce this, but Krithmith Wolf, who will be providing the voice of our French Autobot, Hot Rod. I'll play a clip of him as well in the video right now.
Bonjour, chérie. Je m'appelle Hot Rod. Hot Rod. I will use my gun to stop the time. I'm going to lead the way. No, listen to me. Why do you have to be that way? Do not hit me again. Ah, she is being so difficult. There is only room for one over-the-top accent here, monsieur.
As you can see, great voices all around. Now, what you heard right now is how Hot Rod will sound in the film. If you're like, oh, but that doesn't sound nowhere near as he was in the last night. there have been some creative directions that have been taken to make characters, more appealing to the general audience, and Hot Rod in this
think-
case was one of them.
I think we can all agree it's not always a bad thing if something isn't like in the last night.
Yeah, that's
But I-
also true. So yeah,
Yeah.
this voice is to fit more with the direction we're taking Hot Rod in. Once you eventually get to see, his design and how the voice fits and all of that, and his role as well in the story. Believe me, it all comes neatly in a nice package.
Yeah, it's
So,
not like
yeah.
he just changes his voice for no reason. There is an actual story reason there.
Exactly. There's a sort of embracing of culture, I will say, to keep it at
Yeah,
at
maybe
a
also
minimum.
also a character arc to it.
That's true. So yeah, now for those of you who have been following for a really long time, you may be asking to yourselves, but Martini, Azrael was originally the voice of both Hot Rod and Quintessa. What happened to him? Is he gone? No, he's not gone. However, he, due to other roles that he has, he decided to take a preference in another role and leave these other two so that, he wouldn't be so overwhelmed. So we agreed to that. And well, his new role that he has undertaken is the voice of one of our main players since 2007, the Yellow Scout. I was going to say another word, but I kind of regretted it. The character I have the more mixed feelings with, but that's neither here nor there. The Yellow Scout, the radio talking man who doesn't have a radio anymore, thank God, Bumblebee.
Yes. Azrael will be now our friendly neighborhood Autobot.
Yes. Now, if you're of course wondering how he'll sound, this is how.
Optimus, you are my oldest friend. From the war on Cybertron to finding refuge here on Earth, it's been a true honor to fight alongside you as both a brother and a friend. Please, don't lose faith. We can do this. Optimus Prime and Bumblebee fighting together.
So, as you can see, well, I hope you think the same. Great casting choices all around. We're very excited for these new roles, for these new actors. They're all great. I know they're going to do a fantastic job. And once the film releases, they'll get all the praise they deserve because they really are fan-fucking-tastic. So, yeah. With that out of the way, I don't know if there's anything else, David, that perhaps we should cover in this Tales of Production.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's no particular updates right now that we will be addressing, I think. But what I can say, maybe out of interest for the people watching the Tales of Production video, because I saw the last one was really popular with you guys, and I'm really happy that you really liked it. This more, I don't know, could you call it like a little bit like yeah, it's in a way it's like a news, but at the other side it's more like just behind the scenes way, sort of podcast.
I guess
So yeah, I love that you're enjoying that. Maybe what you could do, guys, if you're watching it, you could, if you have any questions on the process of making this movie, behind the scenes, how everything works, what we're doing to achieve this and that. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, and maybe next time we can answer some of them for you.
Yeah. We also want to thank you guys for the immense support that you showed in the Tales of Production first update. That was where, we revealed our biggest bomb, which was that we're delaying the film indefinitely. And it was really scary announcing that. But seeing your guys' response really was heartwarming. So we want to thank each and every one of you for such a positive
thank you.
response. We hope that this, episode still renews faith. I know the voices and the models must have. So thank you guys for your support in general. As always, coming into the more straying from the project, I guess, but staying within the community. We try and make the YouTube and our social media as active as possible. But
Correct, yeah.
sometimes
That's
there's
another goal.
more. Yeah, sometimes there are more quieter periods. So, but don't worry, they're not any of them are. The YouTube channel's not dead. The social X is not dead. Instagram is not dead. We'll be posting stuff in the following days.
Yeah, especially now with the shooting phase starting. Don't worry, content will be coming.
Exactly.
And also what I wanted to say, I also wanted to say something in regards to the awesome feedback from you guys. As the director, I wanted to also say thank you guys. As Martini said, it was a bit scary to announce the delay, especially.
Yeah.
But also to be that transparent with you guys. It's not an easy thing to be that transparent, and I'm really glad and for your amazing feedback. And again, thank you for that. And yeah, I think the models that we showed you today again prove that we really mean our mantra and really stick to our mantra of saying it's done when it's done, and we have a certain bar of quality that we want to reach, and we don't want to put it out there if it's not at that level, because you deserve an awesome, epic, kick-ass conclusion to the Michael Bay universe, and we'll give you that. Just takes
Exactly.
time.
Even if the previous films weren't the best, you guys still deserve the best. So we'll work hard
Exactly.
to provide you guys with, everything you deserve at the end of the day. This is a film by fans for fans.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much everyone for your support. And I don't think there's anything more to disclose, David. So
I think
yeah.
we can wrap it up for today.
we can definitely wrap it up for today. We'll try and make the next one probably maybe a month's time. I don't know.
Yeah,
We're still
I
kind of
think it's
deciding that, but it's just
Yeah.
it's kind of tough. We're still starting this new series. But don't worry, the videos are coming. They will come eventually. So yeah.
definitely.
But yeah, thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to watch this. Great stuff is coming, and great stuff is already here, like you saw. So yeah,
Exactly.
thank you guys for everything, and I guess we'll see you on the next one. Till all our one,
Exactly.
guys.
See you then. Hello, everyone. Bye.
Take care.